Deadline, Chapter 22, early February. At least they knew. I have said before it's crazy and that I feel guilty about my loved ones feeling bad when I'm the one who is dying, but I'm hardwired that way. Things are clearer now, though not easier, but clearer. The truth really does bring freedom. For one thing, you don't have to remember which lie you told. This disease is showing itself more regularly. What I felt that night on the run, and to a lesser degree in the pickup, can't be ignored. But I've got no time for denial. I've had a couple of days just sitting through class trying to build the energy to get to the next one. When that happens, I double up on my supplements and catch every nap I can. Thank God for math and Spanish. Coach gave me a key to his office in the gym so I can rest there, and he covers for me in the teacher's lounge. I've stayed home a few times, laid in bed, and let the days go by while I gather strength. Doc helps me out with some super booster so potent I don't even ask about them, and for a majority of the time I'm okay. I just have these dips. Sometimes when I'm home or just kicking back in Coach's office, I get on the phone to see if I can drum up some signatures for my Malcolm X petition, but mostly what I get are the stats for my paper on the number of times I hear that word. Dallas walks into a room. I tell myself we're like ants on an anthill, and the loss I feel does not amount to anything in the cosmos. But the emptiness and the longing are so great I can't hold that thought, and I begin to wonder what's big and what's little. I have that program on my computer where you look at the Milky Way from such a distance it seems like one small star, and then you start clicking and getting closer and closer, and pretty soon you're looking at the solar system and then Earth and then some clumps of grass, and when you finish you're staring into a single cell. It only takes a little imagination to realize that if the program kept going, you'd be inside an atom. The distance across the atom in relative mass are the same as the distance across the universe. So there is no big and no little, and I am left to realize that the pain I feel relative to me is as big as two galaxies moving apart in the universe. And I can only come to that conclusion that the desperation I feel is huge. I think about Dallas's uncle and I hate him, hate the visuals of him creeping into her room and scaring her into not telling. I think of the betrayal, how tough it would be to trust anybody, anything. If that happened to you, you can't trust the people in your own family to keep you safe. Your sense of trust would have to head right down the shitter. But then I think of Dallas with Joe Henry and the result of all that betrayal. How she just loves him and wouldn't give him up for anything, and things get complicated. Rudy betrayed a kid like Cubed, and that kid is gone, and there have to be people everywhere that if they knew would have come after Rudy with torches in the night. But what about Rudy McCoy when he was a little kid suffering that same betrayal? Then betrayal of a God that was supposed to keep him safe. I can't help but like him, and I can't help but hurt for him. And I can't help but think if he were alive, I'd do whatever I could to keep him away from kids. But if I couldn't do that, I'd have to turn him in, because that is the only way you get this shit stopped. Planet Earth is a tough town. This isn't turning out the way I want it to. My time in this half-awakened cocoon in my room has become my greatest sanctuary. Really? I actually thought Rudy was the guy I could save. Thought he could get his redemption from me. He smiled. He is hardwired, as you put it, to be the way he was. Every time he came out of his stupor, his history was waiting for him. He mistook what he did for who he was, but he faced it and made his decision. You were way too late for Rudy, Ben, but you gave him some days he'd never have had without you. Yeah, but don't I get a break here? I mean, look at my mother. Talk about hardwired. I'd have to agree with you there. Man who comes out of this, whoever chooses to. Listen, Ben, wise men and women have come here for centuries and left what they knew in their time. Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Gandhi, Alois, Martina, Saraha. Not all of them were famous. At any rate, all of them knew connections is everything and life is risky. They knew the rule of joy and fear, and they knew nothing dies. They knew the Big Bang, that same version of everything inside of you. Life is your practice field, and the state playoffs are inside of you. Your first therapist, Marla, was right when she said the best advice comes from flight attendants. Put your own mask on first before you try to help someone else. There's only one person you and I can save together, Ben, and when I leave, that person will be the only person left in the room. And Jesus turns and walks away, and I have a feeling I won't be seeing him again until the moment I change. Hey, Ben. Hey, Ben. Dallas stands behind the screen door besides Joe Henry, who wants the hell to come out and play with me. Ben, hey, Ben, should I get my glove? I watch Dallas. She watches me. Can I? Dallas Suzuki, can I get my glove and go play catch? You better let him, I said. It'll make your evening easier. Go get your gloves, she says, and put on warm clothes. Joe Henry disappears while Dallas and I watch each other through the screen door. I didn't know what else to do, I said. It was wrong not telling you, but it seemed right at the time. I was selfish, and I know it was seriously messed up to not tell you after you told me everything, but I got scared, like way more scared than of dying, because I wanted it so much, but I don't think we should spend this time being mad at each other. It all comes out without punctuation as fast as I can say it. Dallas doesn't move. I don't know, Ben. I don't know if I can. I can feel my shoulders sink. Okay, I say, at least let me play catch with Joe Henry. You can play catch with Joe Henry, she says, then turns and disappears into the darkness of her living room. It is freezing cold, and Joe Henry bursts onto the porch so bundled up I don't worry about hurting him with the ball. He drops every throw, partially because his mittens under his baseball mittens, and partially because when he catches his next ball, it won't be his first. But he is undeterred. He runs after it and picks it up and throws it back at my head. I don't see Dallas in the window. I've done what I can and hope Joe Henry remembers my name and says my name when he is my age and brings her back in time. Jesus is right. You can put yourself out there in the truest way you can and hope others do the same. You'll connect or you won't. But you did what you could. It's like playing ball in some way. There are guys on the team like Cody I'd give my life for, but you have to be willing to lay down your body for all of them if you want to put the best you on the field. Every guy on the team has to believe you'll bring nothing back off the field with you. If you do that, a few others will do the same, and those who don't won't go further than they would have. A team is a single thing, just like each of us is our arms and legs and brains and sprints. When one component isn't working, we aren't at full speed. Some things with the team of me and Dallas and Joe Henry, right now one component isn't working, and if we went into a competition, we'd lose, but I've left it all on the field. Mid-February. You've missed 2 classes this week, Mr. Wolf, Lambert said. Excused absences, I say back. I thought you might have gone out of town to get your signatures. No way, man. My project is scientific. Works. No matter how the electric responds. I hope you're not going to try to put a bigoted label on your hometown. Good research is like good journalism, I say. Just the facts. I'll let the readers put the label on it. And since you're not reading it, there won't be any readers. Trout is safe. I just hope you remember you owe something to the place we're from. What do I owe? Some allegiance? Maybe some appreciation? You wouldn't be who you are if it weren't for the people you grew up with. The good and the bad, right? Mr. Lambert stares, waits. I mean, if the good stuff rolls downhill, so does the shit, right? Watch it. The bad stuff, then, I said, but I don't drop my gaze. I'm telling you want to think twice before you turn your back on your own home. I'm telling you that if you think I'm turning my back on my own home by doing a survey, then you don't think much of my home, which, if I remember correct, is your home too. Look, Mr. Lambert, we get educated so we can get information right, and so we can discriminate between the kinds of information we get. What other kind is there to get educated? Gather information, go out into the real world with it, and learn math so we don't have to guess. We can be exact. Same thing with science. We learn history and literature to know the truth about those times. That is, if the people who are teaching us want us to know the truth. Young man, are you saying that I'm not giving you a proper education? I wonder if any adult ever called any boy young man without ill will. I'm not counting. He's a nice young man, because that's a description. I'm talking about, what was that for, young man? My dad. You get over here right this minute, young man. My mother. What have you gotten yourself into, young man? Teachers, parents, mine and others. Sunday school teachers, pretty much anyone over the age of about 35. I'm not saying anything about you, Mr. Lambert. I'm really not. But I'm talking about an education in general. Do you know almost every truly forward-thinking thinker in history was ridiculed, if not threatened, if not killed? You know why? For messing with the current uninformed beliefs. Galileo, Newton, Jesus, Darwin, and even Einstein. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. All those fighters there, including us, have some big-time belief system we're trouting, and we're all willing to kill the hell out of the other side to make a point. And I get it. Their bad guys are way worse than our bad guys because they aren't afraid to die. But they're afraid to die because of the dumb beliefs that they get martyred. They're gonna get a bunch of stuff in heaven that most people don't get, like a whole bunch of virgins and shit. Ben. And look at you. You think if you let me say that word, the world is going to cave in or something. I am totally uninformed triad here, and you're trying to pounce on one word because it offends, quote, your belief system. Ben Wolf, you're not exactly Galileo or Newton, and you sure as the devil aren't Jesus. Are you drawing parallels between your introduction of Malcolm X to Trout, Idaho with Newton and gravity? Are you that much smarter than the rest of us? Give me a break. There's a lot more behind those belief systems than you're allowing. There are good and evil in the world, and part of education is learning what they are. Sooner says, we've got us a midget, Einstein. Whoa. I may not be Einstein, but I'm smart enough to let that statement pass. There may be good and evil, I say to Lambert, but neither you nor I know what they are. The vein in Lambert's neck pushes against his shirt collar like a rat being devoured by a snake. Maybe you don't know what they are, Ben Wolf, but I sure do.